Hello guys, it's Ramos here, bringing you the Restoration Druid Ultimate Guide. After making my balance and feral guides, some people asked for a restoration guide, and I'm going to give it to ya. This is not my main spec, but it's easier to find slots in PvE and PvP, so I've been playing it quite a lot, and in this guide we're going to take a look at everything from PvP to PvE. We're going to take a look at the artifact, at the stat priority, talents and rotation, and offer you an overview of the class and the playstyle of this specialization. So, let's begin. For the artifact, you first want to get the Dreamwalker trait. This gives your Wildgrowth a chance to instantly heal all allies affected by your rejuvenation, and that's pretty damn good. And after that you want to get to Tranquil Mind. This increases your healing from Tranquility and also lets you cast it while moving. And finally you want to make your way to Power of the Archdruid. That also gives your Wildgrowth a chance to apply Regrowth and Rejuvenation to 2 additional allies. The best route is probably to go from the start to the left and then upwards to Dreamwalker, then continue down to Tranquil Mind, and then you either go down from the start and up and down, or you go down from Dreamwalker and make your way to Power of the Archdruid. For the stats priority, of course, Intellect is your primary stat. That gives you spell power and increases the healing of all your heals. Next, very important, is Haste, because it increases the cast time of all your healings, as well as your global cooldowns are reduced, so it's really important because you have to cast fast and you have a lot of spells that need to be fast casted. Then it depends, it's Mastery and Critical, it depends on your playstyle and what you like more, but probably for right healing it's mostly Critical, and for the tank it's more like Mastery, because Mastery increases the healing you do on targets that are affected by your HOTS. And finally, Versatility is not that important and is the least preferred stat. Now let's get to the talents, and here there are some choices as well as some different aspects if you want to play PvP or PvE. For the first one, you probably want to go from Prosperity or Cenarion Ward. I like Prosperity more because it gives you 2 Swiftman charges, and Cenarion Ward is also nice, it gives you a shield for the target. Next, you mostly want to go from Displacer Beast, it's really useful in PvP and PvE as well, it lets you teleport a little bit. Then, it's up to you, I like the Guardian Affinity that reduces all the damage, but Balance Affinity is also nice because it increases the range of all your abilities, which can be quite useful. Next, for PvP you mostly want Mighty Bash, but Typhoon could also be good in Battlegrounds, and Mass Entanglement is not bad at all, so it's up to you here. Next, you mostly want Cultivation for PvE, and for PvP probably you want Incarnation Tree of Life. Then you want to go for Gemination, that lets you apply Rejuvenation twice on the same target, which is really damn useful. And finally for PvE you mostly want Flourish here, and for PvP you want Stonebark. Flourish increases the duration of your healing over time effects on friendly targets for some time, and Stonebark is good for PvP because it reduces the cooldown of Ironback and also increases healing from your healing over time effects by 20%. Now for the rotation. It depends here if you are doing single target or multi-target healing, but for single target you always want to have a fluorescence below your friendly allies. Even if it's single or multi-target, it's really good. You always have to have it on and below your friendlies. Then cast Life Bloom on the target, Regrowth and Rejuvenation, those are your healing over time effects, and you want to always have them on your target, especially if you are healing one tank, if you're in a dungeon. And then Healing Touch is very cheap, that's why it's nice to spam that one if the target is not taking too much damage, because Healing Touch won't really take your mana. And Swiftmend, it's good if the target is taking a lot of damage and you need to save him really fast. Iron Bark as well, use it as a buff if the target is taking a lot of damage. Tranquility, use it on cooldown if you need some healing for some AoE damage given to your friendlies. And Essence of Ganir as well, use it as a cooldown that increases the healing for your overtime effects. And use it as well if there is a lot of AoE damage or if your tank is not doing very well at the moment. And for multiple targets as well, cast a fluorescence below all your friendlies. Rejuvenate as many of them as you can, and even twice if you have that talent. Then keep using Wildgrowth as soon as you have it off cooldown, because this heals a lot of people and it's really useful. As well, use Swiftmend if someone is close to dying, because this will save them most of the times. And Essence of Ganir and Tranquility, use them on cooldown as well if there's a lot of AoE damage coming to your party. And those are the basics. Now let's take a look at some PvP footage of one arena and then a little bit of PvE footage of Gul'dan. And for PvP, remember to also use your CCs. You have the Mighty Bash if you take on that talent. And also remember to use Cyclone as a CC. Use it on the enemy healer if your ally is focusing their DPS, or vice versa if he's not focusing the DPS. And don't forget about your blink. If you're in trouble, just blink away. You can even go stealth and then prowl in your cat form. It's easy to get away like that. Also you can use your bear form to get away. Keep casting Efflorescence below you or below your friendly if he's fighting a bit away from you. So have that on. Have all the healing over time effects on you and on your ally if you can. Cast your rejuvenations, cast regrowth, cast life bloom, and have all those hots on you as often as possible. And if you are in trouble, use the incarnation. This will always save you. You cannot die while you're in this mighty tree form because your healings are super strong and there's just no way that you can be killed like this. And remember to use the CCs. Remember to get away if you're in trouble, and use Iron Bark and Bark Skin to save yourself or your friendly fighter in the arena. As well as, if you're running out of mana, remember that you also have Innervate and you can use it on yourself, and this will make your healing spells cast no mana, which is really useful if you're running low and you want to just cast some swift regrowths because they take a lot of mana. But if you want to save someone or yourself really fast, you can just spam a few of those on yourself or on the ally. They will take a lot of mana, but they will probably save you. Healing Touch heals a lot less, but it takes a lot more time, and it costs no mana, but it won't heal as much as spamming some regrowths. And if you're in trouble, you can do that. Remember to also have Swift Mend, and if you have the 2 charges, it's really useful. This will most of the time save you if you get really low. You can just cast 1 and you will probably be safe afterwards. And you can also hit some dots on the target if you have the time to do that. You can use Moonfire and Sunfire as well as spam some Rafts if you're not in trouble, and if no one needs healing, you can do some damage as well. And those are the basics in PvP. Get away with your cat form if you're in trouble. Turn into bear form if you have some healing over time effects on yourself but you're still kind of dying. And remember to CC, use Cyclone as soon as possible, as well as Mighty Bash. And keep yourself and your ally alive. And for PvE is pretty similar. Remember to always have Efflorescence behind all your tanks or everyone that's taking a lot of damage. It's best to have it under your tank and under the guys that are taking AoE damage. And cast Wild Growth as soon as you can. Keep your hots up on the targets, as many as you can, but always have them on the tanks. Use Tranquility if there's a lot of trouble and a lot of AoE damage coming from the boss and from ads. And be careful what you're doing. Don't stay in shit and don't die. You also can revive someone, but don't revive a DPS. Keep that for the tank or for another healer that might die. Don't waste it on DPS because you might need it later. So don't revive just a random DPS that died because he was standing in blue fire because he thought it was pretty. And remember, always have Efflorescence below a fight. You need to keep switching it because people will move and the boss will move, so always recast it. And if you're running low on mana, use Innervate and heal a lot when you have that on because nothing will cost, so do as much healing as you can and save people. If people are running really low on health, you can use Swift Mend to save them. You can also have some hots on yourself if you think you're taking some damage or if you're taking some AoE damage, and be careful with that as well, so you don't want to die. So take a look at your health as well, not only at your friendlies, and apply hots as often as you can on as many people as you can. At least rejuvenation on many people that you see that are taking damage. And I think those are all the basics, and I hope that you enjoy. I'm not a master of restoration, I've never healed as my main spec. I've always played mostly DPS and Feral and Balance and Mage, Death Knight, that kind of stuff. But I like the Restoration Druid, it's my favorite healer in the game. And people asked for a guide for the Restoration as well after my Balance and Feral guides. If you want to take a look at my interface and you want to have it, because I had a lot of questions of this, I have 2 videos about my interface, you can take a look at those and you can have my interface as well. And thank you for watching, leave a like and subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.